everyone, welcome back to another amazing interview with another amazing author with another amazing book from our Independent Thinking Online Children's Book Festival in partnership with the Sue Atkins Book Club. Sue Atkins, I ended up in a Zoom coffee morning with her a few months ago, and all these amazing authors. And I thought, what can we do to help support these authors and get their books into schools and into educators and into homes? Because there were so many just great books, many with great stories and great messages, and books for children and about children and for parents and to support and to help. And then I came across this one by Antonia de Winter, and it's Orion's Messenger, and it's just a rollicking good fantasy story, and it's such a pleasure to read, and it's a pleasure to meet Antonia and invite her to tell us a little bit more about her book and why she ended up writing and how the book impacts people. Thank you, Antonia, for joining us.
Thank you, Ian, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. So, well, first of all, I'd want to thank you very much indeed for organising this wonderful event. You know, there's so many of us diverse authors, and you've given us the platform and the opportunity for parents, teachers and children to see our books too, or know about our books. So I apologise for referring to my notes, but I just don't want to miss any of my information out as I go. So this is a little bit about my background. I've been involved in our family interior design and soft furnishing business for many years. It was started by my grandfather in 1925 in the East End of London, and we moved to Notting Hill in 1948, and we've been there ever since. Also, I am a retired palliative care counsellor, and having worked for some years in a hospice that is based in a large cancer teaching hospital to the north of London. So how come I've written a children's book? Well, it was originally written as a story for our daughter when she was 8 years old and went into hospital to have her tonsils out. She enjoyed the story, and so did her younger brother. And a friend of hers, a friend's mother was a teacher and invited me to the junior school during book week to speak to the children and explain how I'd written the book and read excerpts from it and so on. And when I got to the school, the teacher who was coordinating the event was a little bit put out because I asked for a classroom with a piano in it. Because I wanted them to hear the jolly song which went with the book. And I would, if you don't mind, give you a minute's worth of the song, which was recorded then,
brilliant,
and is still with the audiobook now, because my husband and I recorded the audiobook. So this is just a quick minute's worth to give you a...
Off to Blue Sky Island, flying in the breeze, on the wings of a falcon who's really trying to please. His name's Orion's Messenger, and he will take you there. Off to Blue Sky Island, where there's magic in the air. Orion, Orion, we can hear you calling. Orion, Orion, oh so far away. Orion, Orion, we can hear you calling. Orion, Orion, oh so far away. Now Rima, he's a squirrel, and Puspon, she's a cat. They live a country cottage, it's true, and that is that. The magic orb is special, it sparkles like the sun. There on Blue Sky Island, it's protecting everyone. Orion, Orion, we can hear you calling. Orion, Orion, oh so far away. Orion, Orion, we can hear you calling. Orion, Orion, oh so far away.
So
was that a tape? Was that a tape we were listening to? Was that a cassette?
No, that was on my laptop. Sorry.
Oh, laptop. Okay, I thought I heard a click. I thought it was going to be a sort of a blast from the past. It was, you know, actually that.
Yeah, well, it was originally on cassette, and went into recording studio. And there's one smidgen in there a bit further on, which has our son's voice on it, and that was when it was originally recorded. So we're going back, dare I say, over 30 years. So, and it's still there.
That was you singing. That was your voice.
Yes, me playing the piano. So
keep pointing sort of over to your left, because that's where your husband is lurking, isn't he? You sort of,
yes.
Just stick your head around and say hello. There we go.
Hello there. I wasn't in the song, but we do sing it together sometimes. Yes.
Just in case a duet is called for, in case we get a request, he's there lurking in the background with the piano. Lovely.
Yes, no. So more about the book. So thank you very much indeed. You have shown the book, and what I've done with some of them, I have personalized them and given the Staircase of Stars some extra sparkle. I was so delighted to find the original author, the original illustrator again. I'll tell you about Dan in a moment. But let me just go back to when I went to the school. And the thing for me was the fact that there were 3 different age groups of children. And while I was talking to them about the book, they were all quiet. And to me, that's the proof of the pudding. So, and in the back of my mind, over all the years, I had this niggling thing, get the book published, but life got in the way, work, children, poetry, writing songs and so on. And of course, lockdown provided the perfect opportunity then to get the book finally published. So when I did find Dan, after some many years, because he did a few of the original illustrations and I loved his vision of my characters. So I'm just going to show you a few of them. She only has a cameo role, but there's Aunt Melissa. We love Aunt Melissa. So she's a bit, and that's fine. And there is Alex. So
I love that one as well. Looking up at the Falcon, isn't he? Looking up at the Orion's messenger in the.
Right. Yes, in the book. So next we have Ordompom the wizard. I should say to those that don't know, on the front is the original wizard, and his name is Ord the Great, and he's walking down from the sky on a staircase of stars. So that's Ord, and this is it. So he's the greatest grandfather, and then Ordompom, of course, is his most recent relative, and he's come on, here we are, and there's Ordompom, and he's the wizard who gets the spells wrong. So
what is it, MIDI magic? How do you
right. Yes, he's a MIDI magician, absolutely.
There we go. Almost there, but not quite. Whenever he casts a spell, we don't quite know what's going to happen next.
Yes. So, and then the baddie, of course, is the Grizzly Grumpot, and he's lovely and mean. He's really captured.
Based on me in the morning before I have a shit.
Is that o'clock? Is it before your tea? Cup of tea.
And there are his little henchmen. They're called the Grimgroms. So. I was so delighted to find Dan again to bring these characters to life.
Where the name, I mean, the language is so rich with the names, playing with the names, just to say them out loud is just so lovely. And I imagine children asking a similar sort of question. Where do you get these names from? Are they sort of there in your head anyway, or do you just create a character then find a name to match, or the other way around?
Just in my head. I had to change several of them. For instance, the Grimgroms, the head Grimgroms, who were Joskel and Tilano. Well, Tilano was originally Tallinn, which of course is a port, I believe, in Estonia. Yes. And then something I was going to mention a bit later, the Grizzly Grumpot, because I would love at some point for this to be turned into an animated film. I think the potential for that is super. And I was thinking about getting in touch with Nick Park, even he of the Wallace and Gromit fame. Yeah. However, there is an irony there, because the Grizzly Grumpot was originally the Grizzly Gromit, before Wallace and Gromit came along.
Right.
so obviously I've had to tweak some things to bring it up to date, so which is why he's the Grizzly Grumpot, but I'm perfectly happy with him as the Grizzly Grumpot. And the same with originally the Yellowwood Woods were Redwood Woods, but I thought I'd personalize them because there are redwoods, of course, in California. So my redwoods are now the Yellowwood Woods.
Yes.
So, and we did record the audio book during lockdown too. We couldn't go to the recording studio, so they sent the equipment home to us, and I had a crash course in being a sound techie, but it was okay. We managed it, and so what I'm going to do is give you just a plotted outline of the story, and then I'm going to ask Howard to join me to read some of the excerpts, because he does the character voices in the audiobook so well that, and he's a man of 1,000 voices. He's a great impressionist.
Okay. We'll get him not off screen. We'll get him in screen when he speaks.
Oh yes. He's going to sidle in sideways in a moment when I give him the.
It's not voices off. We can have him.
So actually, I mean, if you want to come on. Yes. Keep going.
Inflict myself on the public.
Yes, and
there we go.
Behind us, we've got Aunt Melissa looking over our shoulder in the background.
You'll hear her at any moment now.
So this is the outline of the book, which is a dull, wet school holiday, which has been so disappointing, is now drawing to a close for young Alex. All this changes when an unexpected visit to the Great Museum of History with his eccentric Aunt Melissa sets off a fantastic chain of events. Alex finds himself transported to a magical island far away called Blue Sky Island. He finds himself in the midst of talking creatures, a forgetful but kindly old wizard, and a magnificent golden eagle. Pitted against the devious schemes of the baddie, who is an ogre called the Grizzly Grumpot, and with him his little green henchman, the Grimgroms, Alex has an adventure full of mystery, excitement, and spells that don't always work. This first excerpt from the book is when Aunt Melissa takes Alex to the museum. She is rather eccentric and considers herself to be very knowledgeable about most subjects, but she certainly doesn't like to be disagreed with. In the museum with Alex, they stumble across the stunning bronze statue of a falcon in flight. Below the statue is a sign which says, "Orion's messenger from a place and time unknown." Alex asks his aunt what that means, and for once, Aunt Melissa isn't all-knowing, and she in turn asks the museum attendant the question.
"Good afternoon. I am usually so full of knowledge, but today I am at a loss to give dear Alex here what he needs to know. Would you be good enough to tell us about the statue in the middle of the Great Hall of Wonders?" "You'll be meaning Orion's messenger, ma'am. I wish I could tell you as much about him as I can about the other statues. The truth of the matter is, I can't tell you anything at all. People comes from afar and away to see him, and he's much admired, but it's a real mystery how he came to be here. Sorry I can't help you any more than that, ma'am." "Oh dear, and tish tosh. We've spent enough time in this hall, so let's move on now. Direct us to the antique clock hall, would you? And come along, Alex."
Aunt Melissa takes Alex through the various halls in the museum, like the hall filled with dinosaur bones, the hall of costumes, and, as just mentioned, the antique clock hall, all of which are described in some detail in the book. Eventually, Aunt Melissa takes Alex home, and she has a chat with his mother on the doorstep about their trip to the museum. When they finish their conversation, these are her departing words.
"I'm rather tired, and no, I won't come in for tea, as I have to get home and feed my dear cats. Now, where is my purple cape? I need to be gone."
So.
Very good, very good. And Aunt Melissa sounds exactly how I imagined her to sound. That's brilliant. Is Aunt Melissa based on anyone in particular?
No, it's just our two voices. So.
No, it's me.
"There's my wife, yes."
No, I mean, she's not based on anybody in the book, and hopefully not anyone.
Okay. No family member is going to get upset.
There's a little bit of Edith Evans, I think.
Yeah. One of the things in that particular bit that you took me from the Natural History Museum to the British Museum to the Victoria and Albert Museum in one fell museum. I get the impression that what you created is an amalgam of those three amazing museums and what you described. It was really very descriptive. I was in all three places at the same time.
Well, I wanted a melange of topics. So, you know, some kids are interested in dinosaurs and some are interested in the costumes. Yes. So just to fire their imagination a little, as I said.
Lure all the children in. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and with a whirl of her cape, Aunt Melissa disappeared. After the visit to the museum and during the following night, there is a thunderstorm. Something strange is going on up in the loft at Alex's home. Alex decides to creep up there, and there was a flash of lightning. The room was in dark shadows once more. I must be seeing things, whispered Alex under his breath. I've been calling you for such a long time, said a voice. There was another flash of lightning. This time, it nearly made Alex jump out of his skin. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Is it really you? Oh, yes. I assure you I am quite real, said the voice. Alex was shaking as he stuttered. I don't understand. Come closer, Alex, said the voice. Alex took 2 hesitant steps forward. Another flash of lightning lit up the loft brilliantly. Alex's eyes became as big as saucers, for there, perched on the back of the old dining chair, was an enormous bird. Who are you? He asked, but he knew the answer already. So
you need to read the book to know why he knew the answer already, what the setup is there. So we'll let people work that out when they read the book for themselves.
So Orion's messenger, the bronze falcon from the museum, has come to life during the storm, and he ends up in the loft at Alex's home. So sorry, let the cat out the bag there.
Oh, there we go. You're trying to build up a sense of tension and everything, and you let it out anyway. That's fine. But they'll buy the book.
So anyway, Alex is flown over to the charming and magical place called Blue Sky Island, and he is dropped off on the path in front of an empty cottage. Suddenly, Alex has a feeling that he is being watched. He is quite right, for there, sitting on the path behind him, is a large white cat who is observing him through big emerald green eyes.
Meow. There's no point in knocking on the front door because he is in the back garden.
Excuse me, said Alex, but who exactly is he?
Well, you are knocking on the front door of Ordompom the wizard, so it is plain to me that it is he whom you have come to see. Meow.
Did you say Ordomdom?
No, it's Ordompom, and I am Pusspom, the wizard's best friend.
At that moment, Alex noticed a red squirrel with a bushy tail scampering along the fence.
I am the wizard's best friend too. I am the wizard's best friend, and my name is Rima. Don't listen to her. She thinks she's the cat's whiskers.
Alex smiled at these talking creatures. In a different world, he would have been shocked to hear animals talking. However, since his flight with Orion's messenger, he understood that anything magical could happen now. He followed Pusspom and Rima down to the bottom of the back garden, where they found Ordompom having a tussle with a weed that didn't want to come out of the flower bed. The wizard was wearing a blue and white check shirt and rolled-up sleeves, and his dark green baggy trousers were held in place by bright red braces. Salt and pepper coloured hair curled over the back of his collar, and he had a long white beard, just like you'd expect a wizard to have. Also, he had some gold-rimmed spectacles that were perched on the end of his nose.
Alex stepped forward and spoke to the wizard. Hello, Mr. Ordompom, he said, sounding unsure of himself. Ordompom turned around and peered at him through his half glasses.
And who might you be?
My name is Alex, and Orion's messenger brought me here.
Say that again.
I'm Alex, and I flew here with Orion's messenger.
That's what I thought you said.
And to Alex's amazement, the wizard whooped with delight.
Hooray! Hooray! The magic worked at last! Hooray!
So you'll have to find out what happens next. So I've got one last clip, if I may.
Go on then, quick. We're against. You can go on quickly.
Okay.
We're up
So
to time.
Joskell and Tilano, who are the worst Grimgroms that you could ever have the misfortune to meet. Joskell was, so this is later in the book, and they're the henchmen of the Grizzly Grumpot. So Joskell was cranky and quarrelsome and easy to recognize because his eyes were bright turquoise, not orange like the others. And as for Tilano, he waddled around. He was really roly-poly, and he waddled with his green hands on his hips. He was sullen and sly, and when he spoke, he sounded just like a dog barking. And at this point, Joskell and Tilano came to the Grizzly Grumpot with news for him.
We think the magic orb has been found, your great grumpiness. It is by the oldest tree in the Yellowwood Woods. And because of that, we were so jubilant and shouted at the islanders. The Grizzly Grumpot is going to be the overlord of Blue Sky Island. Na, 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 na. We're going to invite beastly folk from distant lands to come and join us. Wayward witches, marauding monsters, goblins, trolls, and wayward witches with flying frog bats. You'd better start packing your bags, because we're going to stay for good.
The Grizzly Grumpot, the last thing, the Grizzly Grumpot is delighted and about the good news, and now he speaks to the Grimgroms.
You two are my best gods. If what you say is true, then Blue Sky Island will be mine. Now, be off with you and get back to your guard duty. Make sure you're very quiet. Don't you dare wake up the other Grimgroms to tell them the good news, as I'll be trying to get some sleep.
And there you have it.
That's wonderful. As just added, I mean, the book is just a lovely read, but to bring it to life in such a way, thank you to both of you. So it's available via the Roving Bookshop. The details are on our website. Do you have your own social media website? How can people get hold of you?
So it's actually on with Sue Atkins with the book club, because I don't have my own website as yet.
Yeah.
So that is the main port of call. But obviously, with the bookshop. And also with the audio book with the Audible too.
But based on the chat, people are already making requests for voiceover work and to do their own thing. So
I'm available.
There we go. Thank you ever so much for that. That was just absolutely just wonderful. Thank you. Good luck with it all.
Thank you once again.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vel.
Thank you, Brian. Talk soon.
Bye.